Hey, what's up everyone, and well, hope you all had a wonderful and scary-filled Halloween of this year, and as well as enjoyed my Halloween Horror Fest Marathon of 2021. I know it seemed a little rushed, and it seemed like I didn't get enough as much as I usually do for every year around that time, but otherwise, Happy November, which means... That's right, Thanksgiving before Christmas, don't you forget that. Anyway, I also want to talk about something I recently did and got back from, and that is from Universal Orlando Resort. That's right, I hit all three parks this time: Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and the new Volcano Bay. Well, it's new because the last time I went here was in 2017, a week before it was about to open, and obviously 2018 I went to Disney World, 2019 Busch Gardens, and I was supposed to go here last year in 2020 to be exact, but obviously COVID-19 had other plans for me, so I had to wait till this year, and I could safely say it was worth the wait. And not to worry for any of you who are worried about traveling with COVID still running rampant, it has settled down, and these parks definitely are on top of COVID with the hand sanitizer stations at just about every location, restaurants, shops, and entrance and exits to ride attractions. So if you're going to go there, be safe, wear a mask if you feel the need to. Otherwise, yes, I'm going to give my review and a few updates on these attractions throughout the parks that I haven't talked about, or stuff that's about to happen and has happened. And no, I'm obviously not going to talk about attractions that I've already gone on and reviewed already, so because that would be rather pointless. But otherwise, let's start with Universal Studios Florida. A few updates on attractions that are closing, and that is the first one, Shrek 4D. A rather really good family-friendly attraction about the green, smelly but friendly and likable ogre, as well as his noble steed who joins him on his quest with Princess Fiona that takes place in between Shrek 1 and 2. A pretty good attraction, but unfortunately it is closing on January 10th of next year, so if you get your chance before then, get on this one once or twice or as many times as you want, because, well, it's bye-bye. See you later. Don't know what's going to replace it. It's only rumors right now, but we'll find out soon at some point. As for Despicable Me, Minion, Mayhem, a little bit of a change happened that you may notice, or may not, and that is the removal of the 3D glasses that you had to wear before on this attraction. Yeah, I'm not too disappointed with that change. I was never too crazy about having to wear them. I think it's kind of annoying and distracting, but that's anybody's opinion right there. But yes, they removed that, as well as Fear Factor Live, an attraction I was never too much of a fan of, so I'm not disappointed to see this one go, but being that because of its location near the Wizarding World Diagon Alley, it is going to be replaced supposedly by another Harry Potter attraction, a simulator virtual reality thing, which makes it feel like you're in a Quidditch match from what I've heard. So, okay, that seems appropriate considering its location. But anyway, let's talk about the newer attractions that I've gone on now that weren't around in 2017. The first one is Fast and Furious Supercharged, in place of Disaster/Earthquake. Yeah, it's basically an updated version of that attraction with the Earthquake finale, which was really awesome, even though it was based off a cheesy 70s movie, as well as the Beetlejuice's Rockin' Graveyard Review music show. A really entertaining, scary good time. But unfortunately, they were taken out for this whole thing, and you figure for two attractions, this would have been awesome, right? Yeah, not so much. Even though this is a really awesome, action-packed, over-the-top franchise that did hit a few speed bumps from the second, third, and fourth movie, but thankfully got back on its feet with the fifth movie, and still going strong today. Okay, yeah, maybe the ninth movie wasn't as good as the last couple of them, but you got plenty of material to use to make an awesome attraction, like anything in Universal Studios. I mean, this was just begging for something to be awesome. And did they do it right? Sadly not. Yeah, I already reviewed the part of the set tour in Universal Studios Hollywood, and I sort of praised it for its visuals and everything, even though it was just 3D screens, but I could tolerate that because it's part of a studio tour and at the finale of it, and it was okay looking back at it now, but compared to this, yeah, it's unacceptable, because all they did was cut, paste, and make it into its own attraction. It made a whole building out of where Beetlejuice's Rockin' Graveyard Review was. Basically the queue line with a table and a barbecue grill outside. And inside you have a bunch of cars, auto parts, tools, tables, chairs, and benches and crap. Yeah, looks pretty exciting, doesn't it? Okay, so how's the attraction? Well, you get on a party bus and you go through, well, a couple of cars, which are probably the only practical effects on this attraction. The rest is just 3D screens. If you've been on the Hollywood set tour part of it at the end, then you've pretty much done this. Other than the fact that you're not on a studio tour tram, you're on a party bus. Yeah, that's about it. And no 3D glasses either. Yeah, that's the only difference there. Other than that, everything is just 3D screens. It's just all around you, over the top stuff, looks like video game graphics, along with steam and smoke being blown in your face. And okay, yes, the bus does rock side to side, but only a few times. But that's really about it. The fact that there's no lap bar restraint over you pretty much should indicate what you're in for on this attraction. It's very half-assed, and some of the acting from these people that you see on screen is just not very good. I mean, Christ, you see a 50-foot Vin Diesel on screen. Do I have to say much more there? So, like I said, you've been on the Hollywood one, you've been on this one. It's no different. It just doesn't get any more dumber, any more uncreative than that. I mean, they built a huge warehouse building behind where Earthquake and Beetlejuice was for this thing. You expect something awesome like Test Track at Epcot, or even a roller coaster. That could have been awesome. All these other 3D attractions are better. Transformers, Spider-Man. They may be mostly 3D screens, but they made great use out of them by making them more cutting edge, which made them more thrilling. This is not. I mean, even the Kong Skull Island ride had its criticism, but at least that had some cool practical effects, as well as a cool queue line and entrance. This is just a lame excuse for something that was just half-assed and just very underwhelming beyond belief. So yeah, I know this ride's been ripped apart by a lot of fans and critics out there, so it does seem like I'm beating a dead horse, but it really is bad. I'm just glad this wasn't the attraction that replaced the Back to the Future ride. That would have been a disaster. But otherwise, yeah. 2 Wii remotes down. Playing Wii remotes. Sorry it doesn't sound harsh enough, but yeah. Trust me, this one was bad. So, anyway, next attraction, the Bourne Stuntacular, in place of Terminator 2. That's right, years ago we had to say hasta la vista to this awesome but rather outdated attraction that was starting to show its age quite a bit, and I was sad to see it go as well, but it's time for an update. And the Bourne series, I was never much of a big fan of, but some of the sequels were good, and sure, Jason Bourne, the last film, was definitely an indication that the series was getting beaten into the ground. It stars Matt Damon, Julie Stiles, typical over-the-top action spy adventure type movie, like Lethal Weapon-ish, James Bond-ish, those kind of films, you know, typical over-the-top stuff. So this attraction, well, I'm glad to say, is definitely a worthy successor. Sure, of course, the pre-show is just screen and not an actual person standing there, but you got Julie Stiles giving the whole story about everything if you haven't watched the movie. So I went in with a pretty open mind and got what I expected. Some awesome kick-ass action, practical effects, with some 3D effects in the background mixed in as well, minus the 3D glasses that you had to use on Terminator 2. That's right. Take notes, Fast and Furious. This is how you do an action-packed attraction the right way. I mean, you got some kick-ass fighting, the background effects that move, and yeah, you can tell what's in the background as screen effects and what's really there. You got the helicopter coming in and the fans that blow air that make it feel like it's right there. Mist from the fountains and during a fight scene on top of a vehicle chase scene. You even got fire and gunshots and explosions. So if you're a bit sensitive to that kind of sound effects, you may want to skip this one. It's not much different than Terminator, so that's what makes it a worthy successor to this. You got some death-defying stunts, like guys falling after they fight. You got him hanging from a chain from the ceiling that you can see, of course, but hey, that's pretty cool to watch. So if you've seen like the Waterworld stunt show or Indiana Jones stunt show, it's right up there on that level. So I can safely say, great atmosphere, great action, even though I'm not a fan of this, but hey, now I feel like watching these movies after seeing this stunt show. But great worthy successor right there to continue Universal's action and definitely makes up for Fast and Furious. So, rocking Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus up on this one and a plain Wii Remote up. Trust me, even if you're not a fan of this franchise, check this one out. So, moving on to Islands of Adventure,